Good evening all. Welcome to Electric Vehicle Certification Program. Have anybody of you attended any of our previous sessions? If yes, please raise your hands. So I can see, yes. Okay. I can see so many of you have attended our sessions before. So for those new students, I'll brief how our sessions will go and just a brief idea about the session. So electric vehicle program is a 4-day certification program. The topics are being mentioned in our website, that is www.amrita.edu/evrise, where you have already registered. As you all know that this is a certification program. If you have attended all our 4 days, you will receive a participation certificate that will be only available after the session. That means after the 4 day of the session. And I'll give you a brief idea about how to download the certificate. First, you have to log in to CRP, where you are already logged in right now. That is Amrita CRP. Under the registered event, there is a tab called certificate. Then from there, the tab certificate will be live after the session. So there should be a compulsory attendance is needed from you. So you have to attend all the sessions. That means the 4-day session. So that's all about this. We have to start the session. So over to you, sir. Legal?
Yeah. Hope like you are in a tough situations. Like I understood that like your schooling time and you're in a busy schedule. So let's start the session. Before starting the session, I just want to know like your class level. So you can just raise your hands if you are from higher secondary. 11th and 12th. 11th and 12th students can raise their hands. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, cool. So I hope that like you are in a busy schedules, like maybe like after corona issues, like your classes have been started, so you are in a tough situation. So I understood, but still like we can have a sessions like regarding the electrical vehicle, and we'll see what is happening, like what are the different applications and how this is electrical vehicle is designed and things are happening. Okay, so before starting the session, I just want to know like how many of you have seen electrical vehicle? You can just raise your hands. How many of you have seen electrical vehicle? Okay. So if how do you understand whether like it is electrical vehicle or not? Like how you will understand, like it is, like you can put it in the chat box, like how you have understood that is electrical vehicle. You can just add the comment in your chat box how you have understood it is like electrical vehicle. Yes, somebody have told sound and someone have told green number plate. Yeah, absolutely. The number plate, right? The green number plate. Why it is like it kept in green? It is like the energy which won't create any pollution to the environment, or it won't pollute, like in the entire world, right? So if it's pollution, it's not there, means like what will happen? Our health will be perfect, right? So that's why EV have been introduced, and EV have been increasing day by day, and the design of EV have been increased, and the industrial, like different types of automotive industry have been launched EV, right? So we have seen when we have started seeing so many EVs in the road also. And maybe I just want to ask you one more question. Have you seen the electrical charging station? You can just raise your hands if you have seen electrical charging stations when you travel, or maybe when you are in a trip, or when you're going to some destinations or location. Have you seen any electrical vehicle charging stations? That's perfect. So for those who are not seen, maybe you can notice when you travel, the electrical charging stations have been already launched, and it have been already designed, and it have been already placed in particular locations. And you can search in Google when you travel the nearby electrical charging stations, so that you can see that and you can visualize the same and what's happening there. So this is how like electrical vehicle have been started, launched, and it have been used by so many people. And you know what is the situations, right? The fuel price, it's like increasing like anything, right? Day by day it is like increasing. And moreover, in future, I mean, like the electrical vehicle become more, it will boom, and it will create like the more, most of the users will be using the same, and the things will change, right? So this is how like people are started doing researches in electrical vehicles technologies. I mean, like how to charge and how to maintain the scene, and things are happening and developing. So before starting the session, as you are from higher secondary, most of them are from higher secondary, and I hope like few of them are from high school. It is really good to see those students also, since like you will get and you can grab the ideas of electrical vehicle, and what, how it is like power generation is happened, and how it is like charged, and things are done. So let's start the session. And before starting the same, I just want to ask you, what is electricity? In a single word, like what is electricity? And I hope like you have you are using electricity even now, right? Like maybe you are in a laptop, or you are, I mean, like you are charging mobile phone, or for different applications, like in our day-to-day life we are using electricity, right? So without electricity we can't even think, right? So that is how like electricity, it's much more important, and it become much more important in our day-to-day life. And we are using this electricity facility for different applications, like from the starting till the end of the day, and maybe like not end of the day, even like now it is very hot, so we are using AC also, right? Air conditioning unit. So the how these like appliances will work because of the electricity, right? Or power, right? So that is why like power or electricity become more important, and people are studying electrical courses, and they are learning, and they are finding out different ideas, and they are like grabbing a lot of researches over there, and they are finding a good good, I mean, like things in the electrical city or electrical world, right? So things are happening, and it is like developing. So like maybe like if you are interested, you can also join for electrical engineering. Like it is a like good course, and you can do the things. And maybe like after this session I will get back to that. So in electricity, maybe like you will see two types of current, AC and DC, right? Alternating current and direct current. So I would like to know what type of like current, which is like AC or DC, which will be used in our home. You can just put it in the chat box. What type of like electricity, or the like AC or DC, which is used in our home? You can just put it in the chat box. I just want to know where, like, whether you have any idea about that. Yeah. Most of the students like have put it in the chat box as AC. AC, it's fine. Like I have seen few of them have posted DC. So what is the answer? It's AC, right? It's alternating current, which is like used for different, I mean, like in our home, right? Obviously, DC it's used for industrial and other purposes, but most of the cases like AC, it's a main power which is used by the uh, like our home or residential things, right? So that is how like AC it's been decided. AC means to describe that like at the changes or the direction, it will change periodically. As a result, the voltage level it's also reverse along with the current. And AC it's delivered power to home, office, or building, etc. Even you can see the same in the, I mean, like screen. And but still like people are not reading that, and they're just posting DC have been used. So if anyone asks you again, like you have to tell it's AC. So DC, it's a one directional flow of electric charge on electric chemical cell. And the best example for the DC, it's like battery. And maybe you have seen this battery from the childhood, right? It is for, I mean, like powering your small toys. Maybe you have seen that like battery have been used in, and even in some remote, I mean, like in your home and like remote it's used, right? So these type of things are used. And maybe like inverter, if you have like in your home, if you are using inverter, you have seen battery, right? So that is how like this battery and everything will deal with this DC power. And mostly AC will be used for different applications in our day-to-day life. So this is how like electricity it's like categorized. And before starting to electricity, like I just want to ask you, like I hope you have all of you have learned Faraday's law, right? So what is Faraday's law? Maybe like you have learned in physics, or else like those who have not learned physics, I just want to tell you what is Faraday's law. Since like I just want to start from basics, so I just want to explain these to the students, those who are not like those who don't have any idea about like how electricity is generated. So Faraday's law, it is a wonderful law and it is like designed by the Faraday. So let's see what is Faraday's law. Obviously, like coming to Faraday's law, just take one conductor and just take one magnetic field or magnet. So what is whenever a conductor it's placed in a very magnetic field, an electromagnetic force or EMF it's induced, and if this conductor it's a closed circuit, you can see a coil or loop that is a conductor in the I mean like in or in the screen, and it is like we have kept a galvanometer over there. So if it's a closed circuit, whenever a current carrying conductor is placed near to the electromagnetic field, it will experience an EMF. So which in turn, if it's a closed circuit, what will happen? Current will flow, right? So a current will be induced and it will flow. So this is how like Faraday's law have been designed, and this principle is used for different applications. And this induced EMF in a coil is equal to the rate of change of flux linkage. Flux means like it is the like you have seen the coil over there. No, so again like it have been in an it have been told with an equation which is like known by E. E is the EMF induced, which is known by E is equal to minus N into d phi by dt, which you have already learned. So this is how like Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, which have been found by human, like found by Faraday, or maybe like you can also find some different things, like if you have some creative. So that's how like things are developing, and don't think that like it is like very tough, and you can also develop some types of like equations also, and laws also based on that. Like you can create some product also, and you can use these application for different product creation also. From this basics only, people started doing research, and like now we are using smart grid technologies. So the basics of the entire electricity, which is starting from Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So this is how like things have been developed, and now we are standing in a world like with smart grid technology and electrical vehicle. So this is the start of the electricity, or else maybe like a start of the things like which is happened, and things are done, and people are doing research, and they found out the electricity, and they have like using for different applications, and they have done some projects, and finally they have found the best source for generating electricity is renewable energy. So I mean, like why the other energies are not used? Because the main thing is like pollution. You know what is happening in the world, right? Pollution, like while polluting the world means what will happen? It will affect our health, right? So if it's like affecting our health means like there is no use of like living here, right? So people have started researching, and they have found out renewable energy is the best source of like which can be used to generate electricity, and that can be used, and moreover that like it is a natural thing, and it is like continuously replenished. I mean like the few examples of renewable energy, maybe you will know. I don't want to tell that like what is renewable energy, so you know what is renewable energy. You have seen solar panel, wind, geothermal, hydro, and biomass energy. These are the few examples of renewable energy, and the energy which is like provided by renewable energy resources used for 5 important areas. Like maybe the thing is like first of all we have to find out what is application. So based on the application, it is used for different I mean like things, or the I mean like different purposes of the human needs, right? So the basically the renewable energy which is used for like air and water cooling or heating, electricity generation, maybe in rural areas, and maybe you have seen so many villages without electricity or without power, right? So this renewable energy can help to get some electricity or power in rural areas or rural sectors, and even in transportation electrical vehicle have been launched. So this is how like because with the help of renewable energy, people or human are developing different types of technology for the human needs. So this is how like renewable energy have been used for different sectors, and things are happening. So the people or the person who have found initially, I mean, like how electricity is generated means like, I hope like you have, all of you have visited dam, right? Just you can raise your hands if you have visited different types of dam. Yeah, that's very good. And anyone of you visited hydroelectric power plant? Anyone? You can just raise your hands if you have visited hydroelectric power generation station or generating station. You can just raise your hands if you have visited hydroelectric power generating stations. And if you have not, means just search in Google and find out the nearby electrical power, hydroelectric power station, and you can just visit. It is like a wonderful creation by human, and you can see their power, how power is generated. Okay, you can just analyze and like you can see what is happening. It is like a wonderful creation by human, and people are design the things, and like electricity it's been generated. And so let's move on to what is hydroelectric power plant. I hope like you will see different types of reservoirs which is used in that, like it is a dam, it's used for storing the water, and moreover consuming for drinking purposes, like we use dam facility, and even like high head dam. High head means like the depth of the dam. If it's in a high head, it can be used for power generation. So what will happen if like water coming from the high head and touching this turbines, and moreover that, like I just want to tell what is turbine. So you can see the figure in the left hand side, you can see a water turbine over there, and water it's flowing in different direction, and a controller is there, speed control is there, and a synchronous generator is there. And finally, what type of power is generated? Is it AC or DC? So I just want to ask you what type of power is generated in hydroelectric power plant. So you can just put it in the chat box, like what type of energy it's generated in hydroelectric power plant or hydroelectric power generation. Obviously, it's AC, right? An alternating current or alternating power it's generated in hydroelectric power generation. So when water hits the turbine, so it will rotate, right? So what will happen? This mechanical energy it's converted to, so some force is I mean like force can it's launched there, and it will rotate due to this rotation of the synchronous generator or the generator, and which in turn will produce electric power, right? So you can see in the right hand side, you can see an image that like what's happening. The generator is there, while the water hits the turbine, and it will rotate, and which in turn produce the electrical energy. And this electrical energy it's transmitted to the different transformer over there, and you can see one blue color over there, right? It is a transformer. I mean, like, what is the use of transformer? To step down or to step up different power level, right? See example, if the power is generated maybe like in somewhat like more than the requirement, more than 230 or like more than 360, like we can't predict. So what will happen? So we have to step down the power, and maybe some industry require more power, so we have to step down the power level, right? So this have been done with the help of transformer. So we have a transmission line, and which will transmit the power to the transformer, and from the transformer to the I mean like lines which is like nearby in the post, like which I have seen in your home also, like so from there like it is delivered to different industries or different like schools, or I mean like hospital or whatever it may be, like, and moreover it is delivered to the our residential area also. So this is how like you can see in the right hand side, like you can see how like power is generated, and it is like delivered to the different areas or different places. So this is how like hydroelectric power have been generated, and it is done for I mean like our purposes. See, I mean like these and all human needs, right? Human need this, so that's why we are creating this and doing the same. So next, we'll see what is solar energy. Uh, why? I mean, like before telling to solar energy, I just want to ask you, how many of you have in your home, like, are you using solar energy for power generation? You can just raise your hands if you are using solar energy for power generation in your home. I meant in your home. So you can just raise your hands if your home is powered with solar energy or solar backup. It's really good, and I can see that like almost 10 of the student have raised their hands. So you know the benefits, right? Solar energy, I mean, like maybe you have learned something about solar energy. So it is like, let's see how this solar energy power is generated and how it is like people have been used for different purposes. And before telling to the solar energy, so I just want to tell you the benefits of solar energy. So let's see what are the benefits of solar energy first. So it is like free, or we have to give any, I mean, like price to the solar energy? Obviously, no, right? The installation cost, maybe like those who have already using, you will know how what is the charge of this, right? In left hand side in the image, you can see a small square box, right? So that is mean by solar panel, and we have to install that in our home or wherever area like which is sunlight is available. We can install that in some particular inclination so that like it can able to catch 100% sunlight from the sky, right? So this is how solar panel is installed, and the installation cost and the panel cost which is need to give. So other than like we don't need to give, right? The see day by day that like I mean like a day yearly the electricity charge is increasing, and you know what is happening in the world, right? So for that concern, like if you have installed the solar energy means like we don't need to worry about this electric charge or anything, right? Only the installation cost and things will be charging, and other things are free, right? We can use how many like because regarding the power like or the wattage like you have installed, based on that like you can use it for different purposes. So before starting, like I just want to tell you, so it is like completely free and conveniently in nature, and it needs no main supply also, and it doesn't need any main supply, right? The supply like which you are going to take from the solar, so it doesn't need any supply to run. And moreover that like it can be installed within few months, or no, maybe like big plant. I'm telling, if it's you are using in home, it can be used and it can be installed within like within a week, or else like maybe available based on the availability of labor, and you can install this within like 2 3 days, maybe 2 3 days. Hardly it will take 1 week to install the same, and you can start using the same also. So this is how like solar panel have been used, and it can be used for different applications. And moreover that it won't pollute, there won't be any pollutions for the environment, or it won't create any health issues. What will happen if pollution increases? If its pollution increases means it will affect our health, and it will cause like different health issues, right? See, we have to give importance to human life and nature, right? So it is like nature product renewable, and we don't want to worry about any problems of the so I mean, like pollution or something, right? So this is absolutely free, so we can use for I mean like at least the solar panel which people are designing, which can be used for maybe they are giving guarantee of 25 years, maybe like more than that like we can use. And moreover that it doesn't have you have any running cost also. The running cost, it's completely free, and it is like less, and we have to maintain some maintenance cost will be there. So whatever product we have, this maintenance cost is important, I mean like it will be there. So same like for solar panel also, we will have some maintenance cost, and we don't want to worry about like any other issues also, like running issues also. So let's see how this solar panel works. So before that, like I just want to ask you, maybe you have learned what is forward biased and reverse biased, right? You can just raise your hands if you have learned forward bias and reverse biased. It's really wonderful. I can see so many of your students have raised their hands, and I can see they at least know like what is forward biased, right? So the same concept which is working with this solar panel, or else in other words, we can tell PV, photovoltaic cell. See, what is sun actually? It is like energy which is like renewable energy which is available, right? So we will create a solar panel. So what will happen if sun hits the panel? Like we have an electron and p type and n type which is shown in the right hand side. So what will happen if sunlight hits the PV cell? Some of the electron in the p type silicon layer will be simulated to move across the PN junction to the N-type silicon layer, causing the P-type layer to have a higher voltage potential than the N-type layer. And this creates an electric current flow when the PV cell is connected to the load. So this is how like electricity it's generated, and like and it's forward biased, and it is like if we connect a load, and if instead of battery if we connect a load, it will power the things and we can use it for different application. Nothing like what will happen if sun hits this panel, what will happen, the electron from the p type will cross the PN junction and it will energize the N type. And what will happen? This energization will create a current flow if it's a closed circuit, or else if it's we connect a load, so it will charge the load and this load will be active and it will work. And if you connect the battery means what will happen? It will charge the battery. So same way, assume the right hand side which you are seeing, it's a solar panel. So it is connected to a battery, and when sunlight hits the panel, what will happen? A current will flow, and this current flow will be charged the battery, right? So this charged battery, which can be used for, I mean, like whenever there is no sunlight, right? So you will have a question, right? Maybe nighttime we won't get sunlight, right? So how it is like managed with the help of battery system, right? And even it's small, I mean, like a 1 hour or one maybe like 30 minutes sunlight availability of sunlight is more than enough to create electricity. And we can have a good storage system. If we have a good storage system means 30 minutes like sunlight it's enough. And even like in sunny, I mean like in rainy season also, like if you will feel that like solar panel won't work, obviously the answer is no. We don't need any that much high power of sun, like only a small lighting or sunlight power it's enough to charge this battery and things to work. And we can use that for the entire night or even like 1 week. And maybe the system, I mean like the capacity of the system, like based on that, like we can use for n days also, like the things are happening. And even you can see that like lot of big industries and like medical college or like a college or universities or people are started using, I mean like like installing solar panel, since like they can reduce the electricity rate also. So this is how like it is done. And maybe in this diagram, moreover you can feel what is happening. See in the right hand side you can see solar panel, and one small smiley, it's not smiley, it's his sun. Okay, so sun, it's there. So what will happen? Sunlight hitting the solar panel. And so I just want to ask you, we have seen in hydroelectric power plant, AC power is generated. So what is generated here? It's AC or DC? So students, you can just put it in the chat box. What type of power it's generated in solar power, I mean like a solar plant. You can just put it in the chat box, like what type of power it's generated. So I have seen only few answers. DC power is generated, DC power is generated. Yes. So obviously it's DC power. So, but we are using AC power in our home, right? So how we'll use this DC, and how we'll convert to AC? So how, like, so obviously we have to convert this produced DC to AC for different applications, right, in our home, right? So we need a appliance, right? So for that, people have designed an inverter. So inverter, it's nothing, it will convert DC to AC. So whenever like people or else I have usually seen, I mean like people telling that like you will have inverter and you will have inverter whenever power gone. If you using inverter, you can. I don't think so why people are telling that. It is a mistake. Like people will tell inverter will power the, like, no, obviously battery it's charging when current or power is there. So what will happen now when power goes? I mean like when there is no power, this battery will discharge DC current, and this DC current will be converted to AC with the help of inverter. So that's why we are using different appliances while there is no power in our home. So this is how inverter power backup, it's like used for, I mean like used when there is no power in our home. So people will tell inverter, only one word, like it's inverter. The main thing is like which is using for, I mean, like inverter or else the power system when there is no power, it's like a battery and inverter system, right? Battery will discharge when there is current power, and when there is power, no power means the charged battery will discharge, and this discharged battery DC current will be converted to AC with the help of inverter, and that's how like will use for different purposes. The same system which is also used in solar system, solar generates DC energy or DC power, which is converted to AC with the help of inverter system. Inverter is nothing, it will convert DC current into AC current. So can use it for different applications. So while telling this, like I hope like you will you didn't understand. So when like if you have time means like you can just go and visit some solar power plant stations, and you can see how it is like working, and you can feel that, and you can see even like even in your future, if you have a, if you are planning to visit, means it is like very great if you visit there and you can see and you can visualize the things with your eyes. So it will be like good, you will understand more. So this is how like solar it's working, and it have been used for different applications. Like I don't want to tell you what is the different applications, even like it can be used for agriculture purposes, and even in like industrial sectors, and even like residential sector. It have been used in so many sectors. And next, the major renewable energy resources. Like maybe I just want to ask you whether you have seen the image which I have seen posted, I mean, like I have in the slide or the screen. So when you travel, you maybe noticed one small like which is rotating, and you have like whether like you have got idea, or else like you just seen what you have thought. Maybe you have thought in your childhood. Maybe you have thought what is that and why it is rotating, right? Maybe like you can think when you are traveling, and I don't know whether like people who have you have traveled from like this Kerala to Tamil Nadu region, like when you travel from Kerala to Tamil Nadu, even in this Pollachi to Coimbatore, I mean like Palakkad to Pollachi route, like you have like seen this. So maybe again in your next travel, maybe like if you have got time to travel, or if you are going for some trip or something, you can notice this windmill, beautiful windmill. Okay, the same way like human have designed this to generating the power. So you have maybe like you didn't see too nearby, just go near to that, and you can see it is like that leaf. It is like biggest length of the leaf, it's very lengthy, and see it is like very much bulky also, and like it is like rotating with the help of wind. And the one major thing like you have to keep in mind, or else you have to, I mean like the people have to keep in mind when you are, when they are installing this means, I mean like the availability of wind, it's more important. I mean like wind won't be available, for the wind will be available, but still like we have to see, I mean like the availability have to be more, so that like it is like installation cost of this wind energy, it's more compared to solar energy. Since solar means like we need to have a panel and we just install and we can use. See, we can't use this wind energy for our residential, I mean like a power generation purposes, right? Since it is like costlier and we can't use that, and we need wind availability of the wind, right? So this is how like comparing with solar and wind, solar it's more less expensive, and when it's like more expensive, and to install this also it is like tough, it will take months to install this. And again the issues will be there, like to generation and transmission and things have to be done. So that is like why windmills have been used, but still it is used in good industrial sectors also for different applications. And the construction wise also it is like a little costlier, and so that's why like people are not going with this wind energy, but still it have been used for different applications also. So in this figure you can see what's happening with this and how power it's generating with the help of wind energy. So you can see that like we have a windmill over there, and we have a gearbox pins generator to produce electricity. And like it is transforming the kinetic energy, or else you know already what is like wind. It's a form of kinetic energy which is transformed into mechanical energy, and this mechanical energy will rotate the generator, and this generator will produce what power? I just want to ask you again here, what power is produced, AC or DC? You can just put it in that chat box. What power, AC or DC power, is generated here? I have seen only 2-3 answers, but still, like I can see that is like very wonderful. Few of them told AC and few of them told AC. Here we don't need any inverter facility. So the answer is like here we are generating directly AC power. So this AC power, which is used for different applications, and directly we have a generator facility over. I mean, generator is there. So this gearbox spins a generator to produce the electricity. So that is like AC power. It's generated here. So obviously we need the transformer facility to convert electricity to appropriate voltage or current according to our requirement, or the level of voltage and current which is adjust with the help of, or else which is like which should be increased or decreased based on the applications with the help of transformer. So we'll use transformer facility and will level that voltage and current, and which is like used for I mean like different applications. So I have seen that like if your students have raised their hands, if you have any queries, means you can just add that queries in the chat box. Okay, if you have any queries, means you can just put it in the chat box. I will clear you the same. I can see again the people, students are raising their hands. If you have any queries, means you can just add in the Q&A box. Okay, so this is how like human or people have designed this wind energy, and it is like it been used, and it is like an I mean like the electricity it's produced and done. So next, next see the benefits of power generation from renewable energy. So more than that, like I want to tell like you know already like what's happening, right? See, the main thing, it's like the main benefits of power generation from renewable energy. It's like the main answer. It's like it won't create any pollution, right? It won't create, I mean, it won't pollute the environment, right? So it is like a green energy, so it won't pollute, right? Even like solar energy, biomass, wind, geothermal, or hydropower plant, whatever it may be, this energy, the fuel of life, maybe it is like what should I say? It won't create any pollutions, or else like it won't create any health issues for us. So it is like it will reduce. So we can tell it is like less global warming and improve public health and inaccessible energy and jobs and other economic benefit. So I just want to tell how this renewable energy will increase jobs and will benefit in people can get more jobs and other economic benefits. See, in hydroelectric power plant and all, like we have already seen only less labor is required, but still like labor it's required, right? Even like if it's installing the solar energy or windmill, and I mean like making this transmission part and everything, like people will get more jobs, and the other economic benefits also will be received by this I mean like human, right? So this is how like it have been used. And stable energy price. So what is happening with the fuel price? See, it is like increasing like anything. We can't able to predict, right? And it is like see, human have been like in a tough situations, like price it's increasing like anything, and we can't even think like what's happening in the world, right? So that is how like that is a major drawback of this fuels, and we don't know what will happen. So that is how people have been changed to EV, an electrical vehicle, and people have started using generating the electricity with the help of solar panel and wind. So that is how like have been started, and it have been used. And even hydroelectric power plant, it's also playing an important role. I mean, maybe it is like, and if you consider all renewable energy resources, it is more reliable and doesn't need any much maintenance also. And even maintenance, it's there, but it won't cost that much, so it is more reliable also. So these are the few, I mean like benefits of So power generation with some renewable energy techniques, and most of the renewable energy which is used, it's like solar and wind for different applications. And let's see about the application of renewable energy resources in different sectors. See, if we consider, renewable energy power generation, the major things it will be covering, it's like industrial sector. See, if it's considering industry, in industry we have to run so many, generator, motor, or so many electrical equipments are running, right? Grinding, milling, and we have like different types of industry which is in India and all over world, right? How it is working? It is working based on the power or electricity, right? So electricity, it's a major requirement and major factor to run all this industrial sector, right? So in industrial sector, what people will do means, if they have a space with more sunlight facility means, they will install this solar panel so that they can reduce the cost which they are giving for electricity or power, so which they can reduce and people can profit and earn, they can earn profit also from there, right? So even they can, if you have, even like government have came with some good subsidy scheme also. If you are installing the solar panel, and you can, if you are, and if you have a lot of space to install there in your home means, and you can give the extra power generated to the government, and they will provide you the, I mean, like charge, some small charge you are providing, but still like you can earn from the renewable solar energy, which can be used and which can be installed in your home. So this is how like electricity have been, I mean, like this renewable energy have been used for different like sectors, and if it's the major, it is like majorly it have been used in different industrial sector. I hope in the future years, like obviously all industry maybe like it will be started using this renewable energy for the power generation, so they can able to reduce the cost of, I mean, like cost or the price which is they are giving for the, I mean, like a government now, they have to pay, if it's a Kerala government or a Tamil Nadu government, they have to pay the electricity bill, right? So this is how like happening, and the price is also increasing, and the cost of that also increasing. And next comes the agriculture sector. And I just want to ask you how this renewable energy benefit agriculture sector. And agriculture, it's like you know what is importance of agriculture, right? But now the students or the people think that like agriculture, it's not like a cup of tea. We have to go for engineering. So obviously, agriculture engineering, it's also there. In that, like you will study how you will design agriculture, I mean, like equipments and things, and how technology have to develop. Regarding that, like in the same way, like in agriculture, with the help of technology, the people have started using solar panel in the agriculture field or some area which they are utilizing for solar panel to install, and it can be used for to maintain and to watering and to nurturing, or if they need some electricity, they can take the electricity from the solar panel which is installed in the agriculture sector. And they don't want to go for like, they don't need, I mean, like they don't want to go for this, I mean, like government, I mean, like electric or power supply. See, we have like agriculture areas in very rural area or in village side, even like we can't see a power, right? Now it's like almost like everywhere like power is there, but in olden days, like the things are there, and even people have find it is like little task to nurture and to supply water to the paddy fields and things, right? So this is how like this is managed with the help of solar panel, or this renewable energy will help this agriculture sector, and that is how like people earn profit, and this sector will improve and everything will improve, and people can and use these also with the, I mean, like in a easier way, and the maintenance cost is also less and things are used. And the next major sector, it's like transportation sector. So main thing, like which our topic, it's like electrical vehicle, right? So now the things have been changed, the fuel price, you know what is happening. So because of that, like electrical vehicle have been launched. And electrical vehicle or electricity, it's used for transportation. And in world, different countries, like we have like electric car is there, and electric, I mean like bike is there, and different things. And even electric, I mean like electric, I mean like train is there. So the things are developing with the help of this renewable energy, and we are generating electricity, and that is used for transportation for the human needs. So this is how the major sectors and like major things like electricity have been used. It's like transport, agriculture, industrial, and domestic. And next comes the domestic sector. Domestic sector means like our residential area, or else like if you consider a flat means like a flat or residential villa, we can have our own, I mean like a solar power plant, right? We don't want to, I mean like go for, or we don't want to, I mean like go for the government supply, right? I mean government power, right? So if we can install this like solar power plant in your home or residential villa or flat means we can earn I mean like we can create good profit also from there. Even like if you are using air conditioning or something in this hot climate, so we can reduce the electricity bill also. So that is how like it have been used in domestic sectors also for different applications. So this is how like different types of renewable energy which is used for different sector. In that major portion, it's covered by solar and wind. And you can see the graph, and the shift to renewable energy by 2050 has proposed by the Institute for Sustainable Energy Policies. And this is a survey they have done, and they have proposed that this is going to happen almost 67%. See, you can see hydro, geothermal, biomass, solar, and wind, which will be using like in 2050, like almost 67% of this will be dealt with this renewable energy. And you can see only a small percentage only non-renewable energy like nuclear, natural gas, and coal. See, the main major thing like which is why this will be happen, why this is going to happen, because it will create pollution, right? Global warming. So this pollution and global warming obviously, which in turn will affect our health, and it will causes our some health issues also to avoid that type of things. And moreover that like prices, it's like increasing, right? So this like fuel price, it's increasing. So to based on that things will have changed. And in future we can see, we are going to see that like at least to 60 percentage. I'm not in more 2015 more, maybe before that also it's going to happen. Moreover that like 67% of the energy will be used by renewable energy for power generations. And before going to wind up the session, I just want to tell you, if you search Sweden, it's planning the entire country is going to run with renewable energy soon. And if you search in the Google also, you can find that Sweden, it's a wonderful country which is going to run the entire world with solar. I think they are planning solar. So they are going to plan with the solar energy to run the entire, like electrical appliance, or they run the entire country with the help of solar. So this is how like renewable energy power generation it's developing. So coming to electrical vehicle, I just want to share these insights to you regarding like what is electricity and how it is power generated, and what is the things which is happening in the real world. To understand that, I have explained this, and by tomorrow we'll see with the other topic like a smart grid and the electrical vehicle things, and finally we'll discuss about the things. And thank you, student. I hope like you have understood the points like which I have discussed. And if you have any queries means you can just post in the Q&A box. And if you have any queries means you can just add the same in the Q&A box. Students, if you have any queries means you can just add the same in the Q&A box.
So,
Yes.
this is just a reminder notification for students. Okay, compulsory attendance is must for getting a certificate. So make sure that you have to attend every session. That means the 4 days, the remaining 3 days session. Otherwise, you won't get the certificate. So I have one notification that we have Telegram channel. So I already shared the link with you, and join our Telegram channel for latest notification and updates relating to BTech and other event programs, so that you won't miss any of our events. And please note that we won't provide you any reminder emails. The reminders will only be provided through Telegram channel. Please join our Telegram channel so that you won't miss our session. And we are also conducting mock tests for you guys. So every Sunday, every Sunday we are conducting this mock test. It will help you to crack AEEE and JEE examination, and you can register register the mock test. And I also put the same link in this chat box. So, sir, you can continue, sir.
Yeah, I hope like it was like you understood what the things like which I've discussed by ma'am. So soon like we'll meet you tomorrow, and if you have any queries, you can just put it in the chat box. Like I will get back to you with that. Okay. Okay. Thank you, students.